Welcome to Being Confident from Within with Natalie Potts, the podcast that shares what it really takes to be confident. I'm passionate about helping people grow businesses with confidence. Does it seem like everyone around you is naturally confident and sure of themselves? Well, the chances are they have self-doubts just like you. I'm in conversations with inspiring individuals to share what confidence means to them and to help you find ways to believe in yourself and create confidence at any time. I have a very special guest to introduce today, and it's my mum. So welcome, Mummy Potts.
Hello.
Tell our listeners, Sarah, all about yourself and anything that you would like to share.
Well, for a start, I'm out of my comfort zone because this is the first time I've ever had to go on a podcast. So if you're going to be talking about confidence today, that's probably one of the illustrations of when I'm not 100% confident, when I'm doing something I've never done before. I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, this is a good start then. So share a little bit about what you're retired now, but share a bit about what you did the last 10 years, maybe before retirement.
Oh, okay. Well, going back, I trained originally in secretarial work, worked for a magazine, an editorial department, and that was really interesting. And then I became a PA for my dad when he started to work for an American quality management company. And I learned quite a lot at that time. And then I had I had children, so I took a work break until number two Daniel started school, and then I retrained and went back to work. But ultimately, the last 10 or 20 years, I was working in a school, in the school office, which was really to do with the running of the place, all the admin, all the events, and dealing with the children one-to-one as well. So it was the busiest place I have ever worked.
Yeah, I know.
And we were really tested. So yes, used everything in that job, and it was really hard work, but I loved it. I felt like I fitted in there.
When, as you know, we're going to come to focus on confidence. What does confidence mean to you?
I think I feel more confident when I'm in familiar territory. So when I feel safe, when I feel self-assured, if it would be related to a work environment, it would probably be, I'd feel most confident when I had done a lot of preparation, and knew the job inside out, so that I could do the best job possible. I feel quite confident in social gatherings. I enjoy meeting people. Whether I know them or not, I find I can usually strike up a conversation, and I find that quite inspiring and enjoyable.
So thank you for sharing that as well, first of all, and start and sharing about the journey piece, because it's always nice when people share things in their narrative. What's really interesting is the reason I asked you to come on today was because most people, or a lot of people, shared that their parents have been major influences in their life in terms of, you know, mentors, whether you want it called coaches, advisors, guardians, whatever, but they're really around this idea that they've really influenced them in terms of who they are now and helping them believe and have the knowledge and help them get experience, etc., to be, you know, the person they are. And I just thought it was relevant then to think, well, you know, for myself as well, you and Dad have been key mentors in my life for different reasons, and that's helped me become who I am. And I think when I reflect back and think about how that's helped me with confidence, I think it's definitely helped me in terms of the support you gave me in that whatever I wanted to do, you were there for me as that kind. There was always that security for me, and security is you know, one of our basic needs, like the Maslow hierarchy of needs. That physiological safety is absolutely key and what we need. And and that's what I know I had around me. And I always think of it now, that's my biggest fear, is taking away that security blanket for me. And I've really had to face into that, moving from corporate into doing my own business, and that's then obviously had the challenges and where I felt, you know, less confident as well. So I think it was really key to think about, well, actually, how do my parents see confidence, and who's been kind of, we'll come on to who's been your mentor, etc., but then drawing around your experiences. And I just felt it was a great way to end the month. And often they say as well, don't work with friends and family, which, you know, I don't really. And I thought, well, let's break that a bit and let's try something new and just go with it. And what's
I'd better go now then.
What's really interesting is,
Bye.
I know this makes you super uncomfortable, and you don't necessarily find this easy either. And I think you're sitting there with a script. Whereas
no, this is the prime example of a situation where I'm not feeling confident because I'm unfamiliar.
Yeah.
I've never done a podcast before.
Right.
And so I'm out of my comfort zone. So that's the basic feelings of insecurity and lack of confidence. So I'm addressing that because I'm trying something new. So and if it goes okay.
People remember how you make them feel, right? I've said this quite a few times this week. My Angelo quote, people remember how you make them feel, not necessarily what you said. So I've made you feel a lack of confidence, unfamiliar and insecure.
No, you haven't. The prospect of doing a podcast, because on one of my confidence challenges would be due to age. I think it would be to do with technology.
Right.
And I didn't grow up or go to school with the technological age. And I think it's hard for young people to understand why their parents of a certain age find technology very challenging. It's because it's so, everything's new to us. We're learning it all for the first time, but we're learning it at a greater age than we should be. So technology, podcasts, out of our comfort zone, but I'm willing to embrace it.
I love that. Good. That's always a place to start from. So what is it you actually fear though around doing something like this, or facing into the fact that you don't really know technology how you think you even need to or want to? What's the fear?
Well, I think the fear is that generally I have greater confidence when I'm in a work environment, when I've done a lot of research, when I know exactly what I'm doing. So I don't know exactly what I'm doing. So there is a piece of perfectionism in me. I always want my work or whatever I do to be perfect, and so that's always the major challenge, to maintain that or to achieve that. So it's just when you logging on, you know. So I thought, oh, I can't hear her. Where's the volume button? What's just something that is secondhand to you? To me, is a slight challenge.
What's the worst thing that can happen though? What's the actual fear like underneath that if it goes wrong?
That I wouldn't be good enough, that I wouldn't be interested, that I'm not interesting enough to be on a podcast.
To who?
To anybody who might be listening to it. Really.
It's interesting, and I hear this quite a lot, and people not feeling good enough, but unless you get out there and give things a go, you're not going to get better at something.
No, that's true. So here I am, I'm giving it a go.
Yeah. And I do come from the place, and I say a lot, that there's 7.2 billion people in the world, and we all have the capability and capacity to help and serve people in some way with something of what we, like you shared, have knowledge on. And it's about tapping into that. I think tapping into, again, many people don't know what they really want, and really asking people, what do you want, and then what do you really want? And again, a great question sometimes asked people is, what's your real reason why you do what you do? So you really tap into someone, exploring their purpose, exploring their passion. And I often think that if you're doing what you absolutely love, and you're doing it from what they call a core and a heart, then you find that's when you can find the courage. And I think that there is a part of confidence needs courage as well to get started. And people think that confidence is a requirement, when actually as the whole point of what I've done with the 21-day challenge across this month and the podcast, is that confidence is the result. It's you getting experience, it's getting the knowledge, then that's the output.
Yes, confidence is the result. I think also confidence can come with age as well. I think sometimes as you get older, you decide to try new things a bit more because maybe you're aware that you're not going to be here forever, and why not try something if you want to do it? And that sometimes actually makes you do it on your own. If you're going to wait around for someone else to do it with you, sometimes you think, oh, right, well, I want to see this film, I want to go and see that play, I'll go, but I'll go on my own. And that's probably something I would never have done when I was very young. But when you're older, that's what you decide to do. And so when you take on a challenge or do something new, if you actually succeed with it, you do feel empowered.
Yeah.
And the empowerment gives you confidence. And if and then you think, oh, well, that worked out really well, I'll try that again.
Yeah.
Or try something different. But if you think about people who give you confidence or mentorship, I think I've had strong mentorship in my life. I had a secure childhood. My father, my dad, I'd always look up to, because when you're the only girl, you're put on a pedestal, and they have an expectation of how they want you of your behavior, what they expect, how they expect you to treat other people. And when you're on a pedestal, you never want to let someone down. So that makes you want to work hard to gain their favor, them to be proud of you. I think that's what most children say about their parents. Oh gosh, I just want to be proud of me. So you'd always have something to aspire to.
Yeah.
And so that was always a great influence. I think as well, I learned from him very much a strong work ethic.
Yeah.
He was always, he'd be the one in the first there and last to go. A great support. He was always there if you had any problems. He'd always be calm and help you fix it or try and fix it. And I think he also imbued a sort of very much having respect for other people. And for everybody, treat everybody the same. No matter who they are, what position they're in, everyone has the same level of importance, and everyone should be respected in the same way. So I've always lived by that as well. So, and also when I did actually end up becoming his PA for an American company of quality management consultants, I was suddenly thrust into a role that was higher than I'd aspired to do before. And so I was just expected to do a lot of activities that I'd not done before. I mean, as soon as I signed on, I had to fly across to America all on my own, which is something I'd never done before. So that was quite scary, but it was terribly exciting as well. I had to just meet everybody in the Florida office, from the chief executive all the way through every department. And that was a major challenge, but I had good feedback after I'd done it. And so I suddenly felt very empowered after that.
And I think I love what you say about the idea that as you get older as well, you kind of think, well, almost sod it, I'm just going to do it. Some people on the podcast the last month, a couple of them said the kind of they have a just F it moment, which is a similar idea. They just think, just get on and do it. And I think that there's one thing with that is it's almost conflicting a little bit though when you say then you still have fears around stuff like tech, because surely you'd just adapt the same mindset to that, wouldn't you?
No, I think the thing with tech is for people of my age is there's a higher level of vulnerability,
Right.
because
Okay.
if you haven't got the full knowledge,
Yeah.
you could easily be scammed
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
hacked.
Okay. So
It's
the
that
risk,
side
yeah,
of
the risk
it.
is higher, isn't it?
Side
I
of,
think, and it has an impact.
yes,
Yeah, and I get that.
I
That
find
makes
that
sense.
quite, there's a vulnerability about that. I haven't got the right knowledge. I try to learn all the time, and I try to be
Yeah.
very aware.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think sometimes that can leave you feeling a little bit vulnerable. You don't
Yeah.
want to suddenly delete
And that's where
everything. It'd
sometimes,
be
but then
very easy.
that's a point that vulnerability, like you share, and the confidence is to ask for help, isn't it? And some people, need to probably
Yes.
do that more. It's
Well,
important.
I do. I
Yeah.
mean, I do. I go to you and Dan
Yeah.
If I need help on anything to do with technology. But I'm very careful about putting, I don't like the idea of doing all the finances on phones and goodness knows what.
No, but that's just about making, the right judgment calls and informed decisions with the information you have, isn't it? And then if you don't have it, it's going about it and getting it as such. But I like the fact.
But I recognise that everything is technological now. You can't even go and park your car now without paying for your parking on a phone and having an app on your phone to do it.
Yeah.
What's sad about that is the generation above me, who are still here, they are totally excluded from that world.
Yeah.
They can't join that world at all, and that's quite sad. And I don't want to be in that level where I'm excluded. So I'm trying to learn as I go along.
Yeah. Yeah. And kind of if you were to reflect back on moments in your life where you wish you'd had more confidence with the knowledge that you've got now, what would you have done differently?
I might have tried to aspire to higher career prospects, but within our marriage, I don't think if you'd have had two parents who were aspiring for the big career, I don't think that I think that would have come at a cost.
Yeah.
And so I'm more of a support person. And I knew that my role was to be the one who was the support to the career person, and that has worked quite well for us. So I didn't achieve that much with a career, but my husband did, and I was able to keep the home, the children, and every other part of our life going. So we were
good for that. Match. You've got two amazing kids.
Well, sometimes
drawing on, like you said, if somebody's where you have your focus now on the fact of, I'm just going to get out there and do it. And like you shared, as you get older, sometimes you think, sod it, why not? You're only here once as such. How can people use that if they're struggling with confidence and, they're kind of my age, 30s, 40s, or later 50s, and they're still fearing to just do things that they might want to do, but they just don't know what they need to do or how? What would you give as advice to them?
I say sometimes you tend to often put everybody else first. I think a lot of women nurturing roles tend to put everybody else first, and your own life tends to go on hold.
Yeah.
But so I think sometimes if you can try and keep it at special times when you do things for yourself, then maybe that would help you feel more confident in your own abilities.
Yeah.
So yes, I mean, don't always put your own life on hold, probably, because sometimes you never get to do anything that you've really truly aspired to do yourself. It could be baby steps. You don't have to suddenly say, right, hello family, I'm going on a world cruise because I just fancied it.
Yeah.
Baby steps, and suddenly say, actually, I want to go out with my friends one night, so you're babysitting.
Yeah, no.
And, just do different things. But yeah, I think people that to gain confidence as well. I think spending time with people who make you happy, people you love being with. So I think friends have always been top of my list as
Yeah.
an amazing asset in life. You choose your friends,
Yeah.
and if you can actually later in life you actually work out. Actually, I have a list of, I know what makes me happy. I know what makes me happy if I'm really low, and
Yeah.
with that comes confidence as well. So it'd
Yeah.
be spending time with people you just have fun with
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
Doing your own hobbies as much as you can.
Yeah.
Um, yes, all of those things really, and just giving new things a go. I mean, yeah, a lot of people my age as well, they find driving now very, very challenging. It's not like it was when we, and that might be a laugh or sound pretty pathetic to young people, but there are just so much more out there now. I just feel like driving is, it's like a bit of an obstacle course
Yeah.
now. It's very, you know, it is harder, and so even everything in life now seems quite challenged for everybody at the moment.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on that's very, very difficult, and it's taking away a lot of people's um, confidence and happiness. But yeah, but you just see it, I see it a little bit as a challenge. You
Yeah.
know, okay, yeah, this is tough, but we'll find different ways of doing things and
Yeah.
maintaining things, and maybe we will go a bit old school again.
Yeah. Look, coming to the ends, and I usually say to people, "How connect with you?" They can connect with you by Suki Potts on Instagram or Sarah Potts on Facebook,
Ugh.
but she doesn't follow you back because she just learned to follow me back the other day. But how have you found doing the podcast today?
Um, yes, it's quite fun. I probably haven't been as inspiring as I would like to have been to some people,
Yeah.
but I think, yeah, there's a poem I really like, which I found in my 20s,
Yeah.
and that has certain codes of behaviour that
Yeah.
that I like to aspire to. It's Rudyard Kipling's poem "If,"
Yeah.
um, and there's a couple of quotes from there. So, like, if you do try something new and it doesn't work out, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
You've tried it, and sometimes it might really work out. Um, so he words that as, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat both those two imposters just the same.
Yeah.
And that's something that my dad did. He didn't achieve everything he wanted to. He failed at some things, but he then went and tried something new and achieved there. But he always kept going. And the other thing I really do like in life is respect for yourself, build your own self-esteem. The only one at the end of the day you have to account to is yourself. And
Yeah.
if you know you've lived a good life, then that's worth more than anything. And respect of every single person you meet. And back to if again, if you can walk with kings, nor lose the common touch. So if you can be happy in anybody's company and respect anyone, then you're going to be a lot happier yourself as well. So yes, surround yourself with the people who you enjoy being with and who you can contribute to, and who supports you as well.
Mum, it's been amazing. I've loved you on here. You have been of
Well,
value.
I think that's a slight exaggeration.
No, I adore you.
I've
Thank you
been
so much.
okay.
Thank you. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you for listening to Being Confident from Within. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and it inspired you in trusting no matter what happens in any particular situation, you'll be able to handle it and learn from the outcome. I really love hearing from you, so please leave a review and let me know which part of the episode resonated with you the most. Have an amazing day.